All right, folks, this is the C6. It's been tricked out to be a track car, and trust me, it's fun on the road. Hasn't been tracked yet. It had its plugs done and compression testing, which you saw in a previous video. And now we're going to do the injectors, because the man, capital T, capital M, the man, realized when we boroscoped the thing that there was some injector leakage. So it's going to get new injectors, and we will have the man explain why the injectors fail, and he's going to tell me why. At least he's going to start talking now. He's going to tell us why injectors decide to fail. I'm going to take a screwdriver, poke out one of his eyes. We'll eventually get him to talk. And he's laughing now because he knows it just pisses me off when he does this, but that's cool. So apparently there was some gasoline on one end of the injector.
Yeah, if you look on that side, there's two of them that are all wet.
All wet. So how does an injector leak from both ends? And why? Is there an answer?
Is that the ethanol and the gas ate away at it?
Okay.
Internally, and it just leaks past it. That's my suspicion.
That's his suspicion. Yeah, he's got a suspicious mind.
Spends a lot of time sitting.
So injectors leaking are bad for many reasons, and one of them is that it washes the oil off of the cylinder walls, which is never good. And the other thing is, oh, it's wet right there.
That one's wet, and then the one in the very back, if you get the camera in there, is pretty wet.
Oh man, another wet one.
And there's one over here. That's just starting.
Just starting to get wet.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and we were gonna get some Corvette injector pampers, but apparently that's not a full-time solution. So
Injector pampers.
Yeah, injector pampers. And this is to show my ignorance, this is the fuel rail, right?
Yep.
And do we have to decompress the fuel rail?
No, I'll just crack the line loose, put a rag around it, and
okay.
Yeah, this isn't a crazy high pressure system, so it's not gonna shoot fuel through my hand.
It's a port injection, not direct injection. Is that the reason?
Yeah. Like right now, it's probably 50 psi or something.
How much?
Probably like 50 psi just sitting here.
Okay.
Bleeds down a little bit as you let it sit. It'll be fine. Crack it. Catch what you can with a rag. Don't make a mess.
Don't make a mess. All right. We'll be back. Bye. All right. Jacob has removed some bolts, and you can see the injector slowly coming out.
Yeah, a couple of them came out with the rail, a couple of them didn't.
But that's normal, right?
Yeah. Put those back in there so we don't have as much of a fuel mess, ideally.
Oh, so you keep the injector in the rail so it slows down the egress. I love the word egress.
Yeah, like you can see here, I got the line blocked off with a little rubber cap. So when we get it off, I'll take it over to the drain. And
so what did you disconnect that caused that need to be blocked off?
The fuel line, the feed line.
There's a feed line in there?
Yeah, there's a AN line back here. This isn't factory, by the way. This is all aftermarket.
It's all aftermarket. So an AN line is Army Navy, for those of you who don't know the origin of AN line.
Is that really the origin?
Yes, it's called an Army Navy connector. And if memory serves me right, it actually was developed, I think, during World War II.
Really?
Yes, because aviation, etc. I think that's the origin of AN line, Army Navy. God, I hope somebody doesn't jump down my throat and go, "You're wrong, that's just not right, that's just," yeah.
Well, if you sound convincing enough when you say it, it must be the truth.
Oh no, there's so many smart people out there in the world who can just go, "No, the origin of AN line is not that." And I go, "Well, thank you very much for correcting." Oh my God, he's like a cat that's caught a mouse. He's playing with it now. He's going to run around the yard. So what do you see anything on these injectors that's educational?
Well, being we had a couple come off and stick in the intake, kind of got a couple things wet, so I can't really tell you if I can see
okay.
Which ones were leaking.
Maybe should we take butane torch or something and clean them up?
Sure.
I don't recommend that. That's just me being silly. Yeah.
The nozzles look okay.
All right. I'm still trying to figure out how it leaks on both ends. How does fuel from here get to here?
Tiny passages. I mean, if you think
In
about
here?
it, it's all, you know, think about it. It's like water, path of least resistance.
Okay.
It's a sealed unit, yes, but there's still possibility for it to leak through.
All right. All right. Are we going to go to a bench where we're going to work on it, or how's the plan? Are we going to do it outside?
No, I'm gonna set it down over there in a second. We got
Okay.
drain the fuel out when you're.
All right. I'm going to get it out of the way. I'll be back. We're on the workbench.
Unpacking all 8 injectors.
And so, do you recommend good injectors or pieces of junk injectors?
Good.
Good injectors. I already knew the answer. I was just feeding them a line.
So this car has upgraded fuel injectors. They're not OEM, but they're made by Bosch still. They're OEM for other manufacturers or other units. So
What do you mean upgraded?
they're a higher volume. So instead
okay.
of whatever 4 something I think factory is, these are 550s.
All right.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. And
Any installation tips, like you put lube on it or put it in dry, or?
yeah, what I do? Well, you want to be careful what lube you use because it can cause the seals to swell and fail prematurely.
Oh, so you use Ace pure silicone lube.
Any silicone lube is fine. That's just what I had my hands on that day.
Okay.
I was at Ace, I needed some more, and I was like, well, it's right here.
Just a silicone lube.
Yep.
Now, I've been told that you shouldn't put silicone spray in an intake because it can screw up the O2 sensors or something.
I mean, if you're using a lot of it, I guess it
Okay.
could foul something out, but a little dab to make a seal go in, you'll be okay.
Little dab will do you?
A little dab will do that. I don't know what else you would use silicone spray for on an intake.
Well, this is a video that's on YouTube, so we can't really talk about other uses for silicone. Yeah,
Oh,
like it.
yeah. Uber lube, check it out. Good stuff. It's German.
Nine.
Nine.
Wie sprechen Sie Deutsch?
It's the stuff that Hitler used when he fucked the country.
Oh, really?
Huh?
Can we use the word?
Hitler?
Oh, I'm not sure we can. We'll probably get somebody will complain and they'll shut down the video. But you know, that's life.
No,
you got to take a chance.
You can talk about Hitler because you're legally Jewish, so it's okay.
Yeah. Now we're approaching. We'll be back, right, folks. We're back. For those of you who want to know the part number, this is what it is.
For 550s.
For 550s. And then they're wrapped in this really cool stuff called armor wrap. And it is a corrosion inhibiting paper for the protection of ferrous and multi-metals. It says it's non-toxic. Of course, the question is, how does it burn? I know nobody was thinking of that except the two of us right here. What we did discover is that these injectors came with these little green seals, which are smaller than the seals on the failing injectors. So, of course, the man, TM is, I guess TM stands for trademark and the man. The world's confusing. So we're swapping out the current fresh seals, the green ones, for the original orange ones, because we did a test fit, which you didn't see, of the injector into the manifold, and it was too loosey-goosey.
Yeah, if you're doing this on a car with injectors that are older than these and the seals are tired, don't. Just get new seals.
Just get new seals. You've heard it here.
This car's been torn apart enough with its history. These are fresh enough. They still got their shape to them and their elasticity, so they're fine to reuse.
You just heard the word elasticity. It's a great word, isn't it? Elasticity.
Elasticity.
Elasticity. All right.
Backwards.
Isn't it fun to see somebody who knows what to do with seals do it with seals? Because look how comfortable he is.
I think that's called bestiality.
No, I don't think that's what it's called. I think he's confused.
You said seals.
Seals are animals that go in the water. That's a seal.
This is an O-ring.
An O-ring seal. Yeah. We're going to have to cut off some of this video because He's getting great. All right, what you didn't get to see is that we put some of that silicone lube on both ends of the injector seals. As you already know, we replaced the seals from the green ones to the orange ones because the green ones were too loose. I would have never figured that out.
No?
I probably would have fired it up, watched the fuel being sprayed all over the place and said, what the F is going on?
Give yourself some credit. You would have figured it out.
I would have then said, well, what do I do? Then I would have had to make some phone calls.
Let me get on that side now.
And I was getting on this side. So one of the concerns was that this engine has been tuned. It's not a concern, but it has a little stumble around 1800, 2000 RPM. Agreed?
Yeah. That's it telling you to drive harder?
Yeah, that's telling me to drive harder. So this car, obviously, since it's a track car and it's been tuned, likes to stay, 2,500 RPM, it's happy. It feels like it's ready to rock and roll, and it is. It is ready to rock and roll.
Oh yeah, this car is a boogie machine.
It is a boogie machine.
Very well built car.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying this because I'm afraid of the company who put it together.
No, it's really nicely done. A lot of details, of course.
Amazing write-ups on the forums.
Yeah.
Makes my life easy when you have a question, and
I don't know.
I can just Google it, and then the first thing that pops up is the build for this car.
Yeah.
So, it's convenient. Like, oh, well, here, that's why.
That's why. That's it.
That's why it does this, and that's why you can't do this.
Yeah. And I keep saying I'm going to print all of it out, but...
You never know.
Or PDF it.
Might not be a bad idea.
It might not be a bad idea.
You should PDF it.
Yeah. But that would require me to understand what a PDF is. Portable document format, just so anybody thinks I'm a moron.
You have a degree.
I have a degree. It's about 77 degrees right now. Low humidity. Yesterday it was in the mid 90s and it was humid. And I know people who are actually working out in that kind of weather. And
if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Yeah, or it can permanently damage you. Oh, look, what a gentle touch. And so we don't have a torque spec for that. It's the German torque spec. Guten tight. Actually, small boats, I assume that intake is aluminum. This is where you do a gentle touch. Don't ram it down there. You're going to be stripping something. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
I know because I did an S320 Mercedes where I got a little overzealous in reattaching something, and it didn't work out well, but it didn't create a problem. It just was a learning experience for me when I replaced the plugs on that car.
I thought that was a 3 Series.
Oh, that was the plug on the BMW. Yeah, that's because Dan taught me that when you're taking old plugs out, you should go lefty, righty, lefty, righty. He said slowly work it out. Don't just take it out.
If they're stuck, it was
well, that was early on in my career, and of course it was the plug in the back of the engine.
Oh, it must have got water in it.
Yeah, and so I kept saying, well, the first 5 plugs went fine. And he said, no, you rotate it. You go a little left, a little right, a little left, and you slowly walk it out, which I did not do.
Yeah, the neighbor's GTI that I did the steering lock column on, I did coil packs and plugs because they were I don't know how it took on water, but it took on water, so it misfired.
Okay.
And I don't know why I'm doing this again.
Well, on the 335i, I was just doing preventive maintenance, which turned into...
But cylinder 1, I mean, they were all grimy, but cylinder 1 was really stuck in there, so I just took penetrant. I loosened it, took penetrant oil, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and back and forth, and let it sit. Eventually, it leaked all the way down, and it helped coming out. But I thought those threads were done before.
Yeah, and we're changing the subject a little bit, but that was one of the lessons I learned, and this was a number of years ago. And of course, that's one of the reasons I met TM, is because I went to the shop and I met another guy named Dan, who is also a phenomenal. Are we allowed to call you mechanics or techs? Is there
I don't really have a preference.
We just don't call you late for dinner.
Unless you're the old lady.
Yeah. Or some people refer to them as ball and chain.
Ball and chain.
Yeah. All right. We'll be
right.
back. We're gonna start it. See if there's no leak. Me without it. Well, apparently we passed muster, no leak. This has a cam in it, so that explains part of the Lopi idle, which is seriously cool. We'll be back. All right, we're going for the test drive. And we actually have a fire extinguisher with us. Okay.
Safety first.
Safety first. Clear on my side, clear on my side.
Any neighbor dogs?
Oh yeah, that would literally be screwing the pooch, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry if the camera's a little jerky. The car rides a little rough, which you'd expect. Or what we like to say is it has a tight suspension.
Good tight.
Guten tight. Quick wave, which is what you do out here. Yeah, he's not the waving kind.
Probably not from around here.
You ain't from around here, is you?
He's a constructor.
You constructor. No, but the polite thing to do is at least give a finger, like, you know, a little quick toss, like. Macho, macho man. I wanna be a macho man. This thing has a nice shifter. Oh yeah. I wish you were here. All the people are watching this so you could drive this car. It is a fun car to drive. And it's getting funner. I don't even think that's a word.
Funner is the word.
Funner. Yeah. I wish today, a Dodge Magnum. I've always liked those. I don't know why.
The SRTs, but
yeah. Yeah, there was one of those, I think it was an SRT for sale down in Dallas. All right, folks. So far, so good. Got good power, no fires. Love y'all. Peace out.